Alright, welcome to Mr. Nelson's YouTube video. As you can see here, today in class we are dividing fractions. So make sure that you pay attention to what we're doing when we're dividing fractions, because there's a nice little thing that looks just like what we've done with multiplying fractions, but we have to do one thing to it first, okay? Alright, so here we've got a fraction divided by a fraction. In this case, we've got 3/4 divided by 1/2. Okay? To divide fractions, there is something called multiply by reciprocal. Okay? So really and truly, when you have fractions, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So whenever you see dividing fractions, whenever you see a fraction divided by another fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? There's one other way it's said, and they say it as keep, change, flip. Okay? So all that means is the same thing as multiply by the reciprocal, and you keep this one, you multiply by the reciprocal of this one. Okay? Alright, so let's talk about what a reciprocal is. A reciprocal is that flip part. Okay, so 1/2 has a reciprocal of 2/1. This is the reciprocal. Okay, so 2/1 is the reciprocal of 1/2. The only thing that a reciprocal is doing is it's taking that bottom number, moving it to the top, taking that top number, and moving it to the bottom. That's a reciprocal. So whenever you see division of a fraction by a fraction, you just multiply by the reciprocal. So this would be, in order to solve this, you would say 3/4 times, instead of division, we get rid of the division, and you say the reciprocal is 2/1. So 3/4 times 2/1, now you've got multiplication of fractions, so you multiply straight across. You get 6/4. 6/4, of course, you would have to change to mixed number. And so you would divide 4 goes into 6 how many times? 1 time. And how many would be left? 2/4, which you could simplify the 2/4 to get 1 and 1/2. Okay? So let's look at another example. We've got 4/5 divided by 2/3. So here we've got 4/5 divided by 2/3. Remember, multiply by the reciprocal. Keep the first one the same, multiply by 3/2. Or keep, change, flip. So you changed the division here. You kept the first number the same, and you flipped the second number. Now it's multiplication, so you multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. You'd have to, of course, change that back to a mixed number. 10 goes into 12 one time with 2 left over out of 10, but you can simplify 2/10. So it'd be 1 and 1/5 is your final answer. Okay. So let me show you why this is. Okay, so if I took 1 divided by 1/2, I use the same principle, multiply by the reciprocal. Well, 1 is just 1/1, so I'm going to say 1/1 times the reciprocal is 2/1. If you thought about this, 1 divided by 1/2, how many times does 1/2 go into 1? Well, 1/2 is just 0.5. 0.5 plus 0.5 gives you 1, so it takes 2 halves to get to 1. Okay? So what you say is the answer to 1 divided by 1/2 is 2. Well, when we do the multiply by the reciprocal, we've got 1 over 1. Okay, that stays the same. You changed your sign from division to multiplication, and you did the reciprocal. So now you have multiplication. You multiply straight across. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2, because 1 goes into 2 times. So your final answer was 2. Just like what we said at first. It takes 2 halves to make 1. So 1 divided by 1/2 is 2. Dividing fractions. That's what this was about. Dividing fractions is what this was about. If you know the rules for multiplying fractions, which is straight across, and you can change your division sign to multiplication, so multiply by the reciprocal, or keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. Division goes from division to multiplication. You keep the fraction the same exact way, and you flip your fraction. The numerator and denominator you flip. Or multiply by the reciprocal. If you see a division of fractions, all you need to do is multiply by the reciprocal, or change and flip. Okay? All right.